If you're thinking about starting a raw hair company and you're trying to figure out what to ask for when you contact a vendor or what you need to look out for, this is the video for you. You don't want to miss this. Okay, so let's get right into it. What is raw hair? Raw hair means unprocessed. Processing can be chemically processing for a pattern. It could be adding color. It could be adding fillers, things of that nature. Anything that does not come straight from a donor's head to be wefted and sanitized, it is no longer considered raw hair. Now, where everything gets a little confused is that people are now putting different titles on raw hair. So again, to clarify, number one, raw hair means unprocessed. There's no fillers. It has not been chemically treated at all. That means no color. That means also, in most cases, people clarify raw hair as single donor. Single donor means that it only comes from one donor, one person's head. Now, where things get a little murky is that vendors sometimes take hair from one person that is raw hair, and then they take hair from another person that is raw hair to try to make it double wefted or to make it fuller, or, you know, pull pieces together to make, you know, a certain type of natural pattern. Well, some people no longer consider that raw hair because if it's not coming from one donor, then it's not. Other people may still consider that raw hair because it hasn't been chemically altered, it hasn't been colored, it hasn't been, the pattern hasn't been changed. So sometimes they consider that raw hair. The purest and the best and, you know, the most amazing hair that you're going to get is going to come from one single donor, and it's going to be completely unprocessed. Another thing that you want from your raw hair is for it to be Remy. Now, I know we're accustomed to pack hair that said Remy, and all that Remy means is that the cuticles are aligned and going in the same direction, because when you have one cuticle going up and one cuticle going down, what tends to happen is it ends up tangling and interlocking. And that's why when, like with virgin hair, when the film washes out or over time of just use and curling it and things of that nature, and that soft layer or that film that they put on to make it soft washes off, you'll start to notice that tangling and that matting, and that's because it's not actually Remy hair. So now that we know what raw hair is, let's discuss number two, the different origins of raw hair. So over the years, Brazilian hair has become very popular. A lot of companies name their hair Brazilian or Peruvian or mink or Malaysian, things of that nature. There are only a handful of countries that you can get purely raw hair from, and that is India. So they actually shave their heads for sacrifices, and so they have temples, and that over the years people have realized they can make money from the hair that is sacrificed, so they buy the hair from the temples and then they sell it to us. So Indian hair, you actually can get hair. One that's popular right now is Vietnam. So a lot of people are getting hair from Vietnam. It's not even a newer country that started selling hair. They've been doing it for years. China has been buying from them for years. But we are just now, you know,
let's unbox some hair.
Sorry. We are just now getting a hold of it. And from that, we now are buying it in abundance. So Vietnam, kind of like China, is very skilled in processing patterns and doing nice colors and doing, you know, closures and frontals and all the things. So a lot of people, a lot of hair companies are getting hair from Vietnam. Now, it has its pros and cons, and I'll go over specifically the origins and the variations of them in another video. But in this video, we're just going to talk about, you know, different origins of raw hair and what to look for when you're looking for raw hair. So we have Vietnam. We also have Burma. A lot of people love Burmese curly. One of the hair companies that made it really popular is D Hair Boutique. Burma actually comes from Myanmar. It used to be called Burma. Now it's called Myanmar. And I've gone to Myanmar. I've gone to Vietnam. I've gone to Philippines. I've gone to India. And I think I'm missing one more country. But I used to travel to Southeast Asia quite a bit in order to, you know, collect hair and to really, I used to take people over there with me on like trips so they can get hair for their hair company and footage and things. So I love Myanmar. Love Myanmar. I'm actually planning a trip there soon. But Burma is Myanmar. So if you hear Burmese curly, the country of origin should actually be Myanmar. Another one would be Cambodia. Cambodia has gorgeous hair. There used to be a company called Arjuni that actually, she was an attorney from Chicago. She actually moved there and used to sell hair. So she made Cambodian hair really, really popular. The hair is gorgeous. It comes in a variety of textures. Like, it has a lot of texture to it. And you know, she was showing that there's a lot of naturally curl patterns, like gorgeous, like ringlets and things of that nature. Philippines, that was the first country I actually went to when I was like 21. Philippines was really nice. Filipino hair right now is super expensive, but the hair is gorgeous. It will last you like 10 years with proper upkeep because it's just a thicker hair, a beautiful luster. The hair is amazing. And then another recent origin is Indonesia. So Indonesian hair, which I actually have a bundle. This is the natural wavy. Some of them come a little wavier, but this is primarily it. I typically use Indonesian hair for my quick weeks. I do hair full time. I use it for my quick weave install packages, and my clients love it. Like, I'll insert some video of it. Some people love it, some people don't. I have my pros and cons with it too. More pros than cons, but it does have some cons in comparison to like my Burmese hair, which I love. But yeah. This is a really good, super affordable, really good texture as well. And then another one, I think just slipped my mind. Oh, another one that really isn't talked about is hair from Argentina. So South American hair, super expensive. Some of the prettiest hair. Like, if I had the coins, I would primarily wear South American hair. If it didn't take forever to get and I had the money on deck to just spend wholesale on like 4 bundles, would probably be close to $1,000. But that hair is phenomenal. It's so beautiful. And there is a comparison to that. Like, what I love about that hair is that it has the most beautiful luster. It doesn't tangle. It's like super soft. You talking about bouncy. That hair, oh my goodness. But what I found is there are Vietnamese vendors and like Myanmar vendors that have what they call is baby doll hair, where it is super soft, untouched. It typically comes for like a younger girl, so the hair, you know, is like purest of pure, and that hair is amazing. It costs the arm and the leg, doesn't matter. Like, if you get that type of hair, it costs so much, but it's so beautiful. So I think those are all the origins, and I'll do a separate video actually showing bundles to kind of break down each one and my pros and cons and what I think of them personally. Third thing you need to worry about is the texture. So with raw hair and with different origins, like if you look at a black woman and you line up 10 black women and they have like natural hair, you'll see they all have different curl patterns, wave patterns, like colors, things of that nature. And that happens with raw hair too. So this hair is from Burma, and it is the like natural wavy. So I clarify it as sea wavy. And a lot of companies have been calling all of the hair from Southeast Asia sea wavy, just because you can investigate somebody's vendor. If you give them, like, if you know what you're looking for and you know the country, you can go down a rabbit hole and figure out a vendor. So a lot of people just started calling everything that is from Southeast Asia sea wavy, but my sea wavy was Burmese hair because I love the luster. I love the fullness. That's super important, and the hair can take color and it lasts forever. But because it is purely raw hair, you can get different textures. Ooh, that wave pattern looks good on camera. Still full, still gorgeous, but if you see, like, it has some texture. I don't even know if you can like really see it, but it has texture versus this one that's like silkier. The luster with the sea or the Burmese wavy is typically always the same. It's like a medium to high. And the luster actually is, or let me get into that now. So the fourth thing you want to look at is luster. So luster is the sheen on the hair. So like the shine of the hair. It can be dull. So sometimes Cambodian hair will have like a low luster. So a low sheen level. And some natural women love that. And low luster typically has more texture. Or it can be a medium, which this is like a medium. It's kind of dull, but not really. And I don't know if you can see in comparison how that shine just hits. And then you can have like a medium high, which I would classify this as a medium high. And then you could have like this. Like this one would be closer to a high than even this one. So it varies. So again, 4 is going to be luster. 3 is the texture, and I'm gonna go back to 3. So texture means like the coarseness, like what level of coarseness it has. So again, with natural women, some of us has like 4B, 3B, C, all the things. So the texture matters when it comes to someone like who's gonna have leave out. This hair, because it has texture, is going to respond more to the elements, so it's going to frizz up a little bit. It's going to act more like your hair. This is sleeker, so if you want to straighten it, it's going to go bone straight. You want to put a curl, it's going to have a nice bounce and luster and everything else, and it's going to be really sleek and beautiful. So we talked about luster, we talked about texture. 5 would be like the single donor versus, or not single donor, single weft versus double wefted. So most hair that is sold is single wefted. That means not all, if you buy a 22, it's not all going to be 22 inches. Some of it's, a majority of it is going to be shorter lengths. That's how they sell it. That's how like the ends end up being thinner. Oh, that's another Burmese bundle. But like the Indonesian hair, if you see, the ends are a lot thinner, and that's because this is a single donor weft, and they put more shorter hairs to make it. So a lot of the hair stops about right there, and then the rest is like thin. But this one is single wefted too. However, they just use a lot, about 80% of the hair is the actual length. We'll say like 70-80% is the actual length, versus this one, which will probably be like 40%, 50% is the actual length, and then they put shorter hair. So single donor hair typically is going to have a thinner end, or a single wefted hair is going to have a thinner end. Double wefted hair will have a fuller end, so it'll more so be full from root to tip. Now it still may have a little scragglies, but they also, like Vietnamese company, they also sell super drawn hair, like super double drawn hair, which is like 90%. You rarely will find 100% of the length all the way through, so keep that in mind. And then talk with your vendor about how much hair, like the percentage of what the actual length would be, so you can know, because that'll determine if your ends are going to be full or not. So like this hair, if you see it, it's full from root to tip, but this vendor charges a bit more because their hair is always full from root to tip. And this is still single wefted hair, but it is, their percentages is just different, so they make sure their hair is full. So that's something to consider. And this hair is from the Afterpay vendor. It's the first vendor on the list. And then even their other curly hair, it's the same thing, full from root to bottom. So talking with when you're purchasing raw hair, talking to your vendors about how full the hair will be, or what the texture they're going to send you, or if it's single donor, or if it's coming from 2 donors, asking them, can it be bleached to 613? Because that's one of the first questions I ask, because I love color, and it also talks to how pure the hair is. You want to also ask them, like, how is it collected? Do they make sure it's Remy? Things of that nature. I typically don't ask them that, but I know for newbies, y'all like to ask a lot of questions. I will warn you, vendors are humans. They get annoyed too. So don't come out the gate like just shooting off questions. You want to ease yourself into it. So I typically ask what their prices are. I then ask them, do they keep hair in stock? How long is their processing time? And then I ask them, can the hair be bleached? I pretty much can find everything I need to know about the hair, as long as I can ask them, can your hair be bleached to 613? And at that point, I can kind of gauge what the quality is. They'll typically tell you like, these bundles can't be bleached to 613. It can be bleached to like a 27. But this like single donor hair or their raw hair or whatever title they give it, that can be bleached to 613. So just communicate with your vendor. Understand that hair that is single donor and like purely raw hair is going to be way more expensive than on the market. They classify it as raw hair, but it ends up having fillers, or it's like chemically processed. Maybe they put like color on top of it to get it all one color. Like there's so many different things that can be done to make it no longer completely raw hair. And the final point that I want to make is also pattern. So this is completely raw hair, like not altered for pattern at all. It's not a body wave or anything like that. Same thing with this one. Like these patterns are different, the waves are different, because it's different hair, different donors. When you're talking about Burmese hair, or really any type of curl patterns that are on the market right now, unless it's like an Indian curly or something, it is going to be steamed for pattern. It's going to be more uniform. If you get bundles that are more uniform and you get multiple bundles and they look very similar, they're steamed for pattern. And when it comes to curly hair, 9 times out of 10, most of it on the market, if not all, and not all, but a small percentage is still completely raw. But Burmese curly, some people still call it raw because it is like they take this hair, which is completely raw, and then they rod it for this pattern. So some people still consider that raw because it's not chemically altered. They use steam in order to change the pattern. Even when I sell hair, I let people know like it's raw hair from Burma. I can prove that. Dag is full. It's raw hair from Burma, but it is steamed for pattern. So just be honest with your customers and let them know. And then you, as a business owner, you need to be knowledgeable and know what it is. You never want chemically processed hair. Like you don't want, chemically processed for pattern, but understand that color is still a process. So, if you're buying raw hair, but it's blonde bundles, it has been processed for color. So just understand what you're dealing with and what everything is, so you can make the best decision for your company. Processing for color isn't bad. I actually think I want to add colored bundles. It's still going to be raw hair, but it's going to be processed for color. It doesn't mean that it's bad quality. It just means that it's already been colored. So that's already one process. So if you try to process it again, you're then diminishing the quality of the hair. So that tends to happen with virgin hair. They're taking hair off the floor and then putting a chemical on it to strip the cuticle, then they're putting another chemical on it to make it soft, and then they're steaming it for pattern, and they're adding color. So it's all of these different processes that then diminishes the quality of the hair. So those are things that you want to keep in mind. I don't want to overwhelm you with information, so I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any specific questions about raw hair or the difference between raw and virgin hair, let me know. I'll make another video. I want to make sure that this series is very informative and that you feel confident in launching your hair company. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, make sure to watch this other video. I'm dropping videos pretty frequently. I want to make sure that you stay tuned to all the videos that are coming. So watch this other video about hair company, and also let you guys know in January I'm having a live how to launch a hair company class. It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a panel. I'm going to have actual hair from the vendors there, so you can touch and feel and decide what vendor you want to have. And then we're going to have the second day is going to be a content day, so you'll actually walk away with videos of like hair and models that you can use to launch your brand. So it's going to be amazing. I'm going to run a Black Friday sale on it, so stay tuned, pay attention. I have a lot of amazing stuff coming your way. And I also have a brand new how to launch a hair company ebook. So If your money isn't there for like a one-on-one or a marketing strategy or anything like that, this is a great starting point. This is for beginners. So I love you guys. I gotta go. I gotta jump on a call, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.